This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Before we do a darn thing, we want to welcome James Alexander, who is watching out for you, the viewer, and putting you into the show.
That's it. 219 stations is where you're finding us all over the country. You can go to dailyflashshow.com and click on where to watch. You can find out where we are in your neck of the woods. You can also find us globally in American Forces Network, streaming channels, OTT platforms, all our social channels and all that good stuff, right? So I say all this because I want you to sound off.
Okay.
Sound off on our question of the day. Are you ready?
Yes.
Would you rather live in the past or the future?
Ooh, is the present not an option?
Nope.
That's what we tell everybody to
Past
do,
or
live in the
future?
present.
Yeah.
Nope.
I would be pass. I would go in the 1950s.
Really?
We're going to the 50s.
Man, I love the 1950s.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
there's
is,
something
man.
about it, yeah.
It was the age of television, everything was new and radio and that sort of thing. And
People still dress nice.
dress nice,
They
yeah.
were polite.
I mean, we had a lot of problems. Maybe I can go back and change the
Yeah.
issues that we had
That
back
is
then.
true,
But even
yeah.
still, to me, I just love that, especially, just with the housing boom and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I guess if I had to pick, I'd probably go future.
The future? All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
But I would be, I'd be a little bit.
You'd be kind of lost because you
Yeah.
wouldn't know. Like, I guess that's why I feel comfortable with the past.
That's 'cause you know.
You know what's going on
You're
and how to
familiar.
do it. But the future part is like, I want all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
And,
But if you
know,
go to
back
the past, you
future.
can change your future, though.
Well,
You change
true.
the future for a lot of people. You may
You
not
can.
meet Andrea.
That's true.
But I don't
See?
know. But you didn't mention that was an option.
I mean, I said I'd rather live in the
Yeah,
past
change
or the
it,
future.
I'm always thinking that if you go back in the past, you're not allowed to change anything. You just have
You
to go back and
shouldn't,
live.
but you can step on a bug. We know that.
It's the only thing. You can change your future, you can't change your past.
That
right?
is
So
true.
think
That's
about
true.
that.
That's true.
Very good point there. All right, we want to know what you think. You can go to our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Okay, so Starbucks has some customers steaming mad over a new rewards program rollout.
James.
Especially James. He is fired up about this. The Java Giant recently rolled out its reimagined. I love it when the companies
Yes.
use reimagined rewards.
They
program.
forgot to say new CEO.
Right.
Yes, that's what it means, right? Translation, new management. Reimagine rewards benefits. Now, industry insiders say it is the biggest overhaul to their loyalty program in years. The higher your tier, the faster you earn stars. The more perks you get, the less worry about losing the stars. Now, here's how it breaks down. Green members earn 1 star per dollar spent. Gold members must earn 500 stars per year in order to keep their status, and also their stars won't expire. And the reserve tier is 2,500 stars per year. That comes with a whole host of perks like vacations and trips and whatnot. However, it's the Gold program that has some customers losing their minds. The Starbucks Gold status was actually eliminated back in 2019, yet thousands of customers had no idea it was no longer a thing. The original program had tiers. Green was entry level. Gold meant you earned the gold card, right? But the Gold status is now making a comeback with the new program. Many Gold members woke up to find out they've been demoted to Green, James.
Yeah.
And some say they feel devalued and demoted.
I do.
Benefits virtually, though, the same. James?
I'm going to tell you,
Sound off.
thank you for doing the math on this, because when you look at this, it's $1 per star. All right? I mean, if it's 100 stars for a cup of coffee, you just paid $100 for a cup of coffee. There's no coffee in the world. Well, let me see. They may have it over in Dubai or somewhere.
Maybe.
But there's no coffee in the world right now here in the United States
That cat.
that's worth
Cat coffee?
that's worth $100.
You're
I don't
saying
get
that,
it.
but you get 100 stars, you get a free cup of coffee.
100 stars, you get a free cup of coffee. Then you have some modifications. Then you get as you climb the ladder, you get whatever you want, any size. But when you look at the math, I mean, it doesn't equate for me. A 1 star equals $1, but I had to spend 100 stars to get a cup of coffee.
Get a
That's
free cup of coffee.
$100.
Yeah.
That's way too crazy. And when you look at it, if you look at the new system, 400 stars, you're able to get merchandise, right? So that's
Okay.
$400 for a cup that has Starbucks on it, because it's up to a $20 value. So I'm spending $400 for something that costs less than $20.
$20.
But it's no different than when you go to a store and you're checking out and they say, hey, can we sign you up for your credit card to get 10% off your purchase? Well, 10% off that purchase means a lifetime of 30% interest on that credit card that they're offering you.
That's true.
It's the same kind of thing.
I think it's all a scam. Starbucks.
I have gold, and I never pay attention to this because
Me neither.
I just scan it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to add up. But
You spend
can I
that
send it real
much?
quick? It just says just for you. They did get me the other day when I was in the store. I popped because this popped up. So it says gold status just for you. New numbers around here. Nobody can see this. Anyway, and it says. It makes me think I'm getting this for free, right?
Right.
All of that's just an advertisement, just for you. Something, it says, we hope this makes your day more delicious.
So what does that mean?
It's
Am
just
I
marketing.
getting that drink?
Great
Yeah,
marketing.
no, I'm not getting, no, it's not. It's just
A
telling
mini
me,
great
vacay.
marketing.
that's all it is. It's just advertising.
It's just
like,
showing
but
you-
it's making me think that
that's
I got it.
what you're getting.
Right, which I don't. I don't
So
know.
that caused that says this is another conversation.
Yeah.
That shows how much you're spending a year on coffee.
Yeah, you're right.
That is true.
You're talking about if you have gold status, that's $500.
No,
It
well,
adds
mine
up
says
quick.
I have to spend 24. I got to get 2,400 points in order to get to reserve.
That's reserve, but
Yeah,
you got gold
but
right
you got
now,
gold
right?
status.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that means
So you
that
spent
means that your
$500.
points your stars don't expire.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know what other perks you get with it. I will say this with the Starbucks thing, I'll
Yeah.
get the messages like, well, if you order this particular drink on this day with this breakfast sandwich, you'll get X number of points.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
it's
Yeah.
never.
To add more points
Right.
to it, but is it? I mean, it doesn't equate. I mean, just
Yeah, no, I
$100
get
bucks,
it.
$200 for a drink,
Here's,
that doesn't equate.
here's the rundown. So again, there's 3 tiers per your dollar spent. The green status is entry level. James, sorry, you're at the green status.
Yes,
right
I
now.
am.
Mitch
Shame
and I
on you,
were gold
Starbucks.
status members. Reserve status would mean that you're spending $2,500 a month.
Do you spend
a
that
year.
much?
$2,500 a year,
I
because
don't-
that's $200 and some odd dollars a month on coffee.
I can see that
I
for a
don't spend
business
that.
though,
A
but for an
business.
individual person to spend that much on coffee
I don't-
a year,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think part of it is confusion. Is they want you to be kind of
Yes.
confused. You're like, because like what I did, I went there. I'm like, all right, well here, and I didn't, and I've not redeemed anything. I think they try to make it very hard. I think, and that's probably part of it for
Part-
some
yeah.
reason. But to me, it doesn't entice me to go in. I'm just thinking, I want a coffee. There's the Starbucks, and they closed down the one that's on the way into work. So I'll go to
did?
Dutch
Oh.
Brothers before.
wow.
It doesn't entice me.
Well, and the thing I was talking to James about too during the break is like sometimes I'll go and they'll say, hey, do you want to use your stars for this? But then oftentimes they don't. So then I don't know if I'm supposed to be the one that says,
Like
hey,
asking.
can I
Yes,
use stars
yeah.
for this? I don't know how to do the math on
Yeah,
the
it
thing
depends on
because it
where you
doesn't
go.
show me what I.
It is so. I guess it's up to the barista asking or
Yeah.
whatever. And they don't get any extra points, but they sure as hell ask me for a tip when I'm up there. They should,
Yeah,
here's a
yeah.
tip,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
your
I get
thing.
that. Yeah, I get. Right. And see,
I
that's
do-
the thing. That's changed too because you used to be able to do the tip through the app. Now you have to
really?
do it while
Yeah.
when you're charging.
Yeah, you're right.
And so you can't tip to the app anymore.
Oh, you can't.
No, you have to
Really?
do it like when checkout. So if you use your card or whatever, what have you,
Yeah.
you can tip then. But if you try to scan anything through the app, you don't have. There's no tip.
I also look at this kind of like the gift cards. Is that it's brilliant marketing because
Yeah.
if somebody gives you a gift card, it's for $10, let's say,
Right.
and you only use $8 or $9.28.
Yep.
Okay, the remainder of that, I probably will never use that
Right.
amount. And
Gotcha.
so they have made, 70 some odd cents off of me because
Yep.
knowing I will never
Come back.
use that.
Actually, more.
Same thing. Probably more than that. You're right. Yeah.
Interest.
Yeah.
They save all that money
Good
from
point.
millions of people
You're
who don't use
absolutely
it.
right.
That's
Yeah.
interest.
No, you're right, because I've got a Dunkin' Donuts card that probably has 65 cents left on it, and I will never.
You'll never.
I'll never use it.
Never do that at
Yeah.
all. And then I'm too embarrassed to go. Can you see how much is on
Yeah.
this one? And
I've done that before, and I was like,
But
oh,
you
God.
should though. I mean, but it
Yeah,
is
you're
it is
100% right.
but it is another way for you to add money to that card so you can finish out the rest of the card.
Yes,
So
I-
they
you know,
started like you add $10 is like
Yeah.
the least amount or something like
Yeah.
that. Right?
Yeah,
You can't
yeah.
add in the amount you want. Even so, I mean, they know they're in the coffee business. They
Yes.
know they
Yeah.
are doing this big revitalization and changing the way they do it. I think it was a little sneaky the
Yeah.
way they did it, especially if they just drop people telling you, well,
I
you
like the
didn't
old
use
way.
this enough. Now you're gonna have to get back and
You weren't
upgrade
grandfathered
grades.
into the gold
Right.
status.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, James.
dang it. Starbucks.
I know. This is tough. I just think that so many of these loyalty programs are so tough to figure out. You almost need a degree in like, how do I use this one here and this one, especially airlines. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's confusion right there.
100%.
Mind-boggling.
All right, we want to hear your thoughts. Who's got the most confusing? Does this even bother you? We want to hear. Flash at dailyflashshow.com.
Here's our Daily Flash Brain Flash question. In chess, what piece can only move diagonally? The answer next.
It's not news. It's not nonsense. It's that weird place in between. Opinion-ish.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's see if you got today's Brain Flash question correct. Here is that question. In chess, which piece, or what piece rather, can you only move diagonally? You know what it is. It's the bishop. The bishop is the one. All right, hopefully you got that right. All right, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English here, along with Andrea Jackson. We all had those negative thoughts about ourselves from time to time, but do you ever think that those thoughts actually can shape how we see ourselves and affect our own self-worth? Well, our next guest, Jacquie Elliott, she's got a new book out. It's called The Silent Bully, A Journey from Abusive Brain Chatter to Self-Love. It's important that you listen to this. She joins us now with some advice on how to quiet that chatter. She's down in Mexico. She tells us she is completely fine down there as well. Hi, Jacquie. Welcome to Daily Flash.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I think, as I was researching a little bit before I was talking to you, I think every person is guilty of this, and we don't even realize we do it. But we need to back up a little bit. Explain what ABC, or abusive brain chatter, is all about.
Okay, so as you said, we all have negative thoughts.
Yeah.
But abusive brain chatter is emotional abuse that we put onto ourselves. So, in other words, it's gaslighting ourselves. It's any kind of self-talk that holds us back. If we feel we're not good enough, then we're not gonna go for a better job. If we feel we're not pretty enough, we may not try to get a relationship. If we feel this is all we deserve, we may stay in toxic relationships. It's really what emotional, it's what I say is it's a negative talk on steroids.
Yeah.
And I think we've all heard other people say that, oh, I'm so stupid. I'll never get a job like that. Or God, I flubbed that. And they're going to think I'm an idiot. And, that kind of berating of yourself. I call it abusive brain chatter because it's important to understand that it is abuse. It is emotional self-bullying.
And we do it more. I find myself like I'll write something wrong, let's just say, and I go, man, I'm so stupid. I shouldn't have. I'm doing it. And we have trained ourselves to do this. This is very important stuff that we need to get out of our vernacular and B, out of our mind altogether. So you've helped us out by creating a very simple yet transformative set of tools. And since it's abusive chatter, ABC, you've got the tools how we can fix the ABCs. Let's start off with A. What does A stand for?
So A stands for awareness. And I think this is the most important. With any problem, you have to first be aware. And I think we're so used to, hearing people berate themselves and berate ourselves that we're not even aware we're doing it. Like you said, and it's not just, oh, I did something stupid. It's more of really looking in the mirror and saying, oh my God, you look so ugly. You look so old. It's that kind of berating. So I always say to people, the first thing you have to do is just start writing down your thoughts. What are the negative thoughts that you have? And, for a week, if you take a little notebook and you say, oh, there, I looked in the mirror and I said I looked ugly. I wanted to go for that job, but I am too afraid because I think I'm stupid.
Sure.
Just start being aware of what you're saying to yourself. But in addition to that awareness, we have to be aware of the signs of emotional abuse. So emotional abuse is bullying, belittling, gaslighting, isolating, any kind of thing that is there to lower your self-esteem.
Jacquie,
And,
I want to make sure we get through all this, the ABC. So I want to kind of move on here because what you're saying is very important by all means. But our next letter is B, and that is believe. Believe, not explain belief on that one. Do I believe on that person or what?
Yeah, so believe is more of a spiritual type of thing. If you try to change I always say you can't change your brain with your own brain. You have to tap into something, a higher self, something that you can believe in. You have to first
Okay.
tap into that voice that tells you you're good enough, you're loving. You have to find a loving voice and start believing that voice.
And that I would imagine you need to do and recognize quickly after you're like, no, I'm not stupid. I'm actually a really smart person. That's at least that's what I do, and it's been helping me. Finally, you say that letter C is challenge. How do we challenge ourselves?
Well, we challenge our core beliefs.
There you
So,
go. Okay.
if you have a belief that you can't excel in your work, or that you have to be perfect, that's a core belief. And you say, where did I hear that from? Where did that come from? I don't have to be perfect. Core belief was my father said I had to work hard and that was all that mattered. So we examine our core beliefs. For example, I had a core belief I wasn't pretty. So, and that was just as a result of the way I was raised. And so for my entire life, I was looking, I always felt less than, and I was looking for relationships, that affirmed that.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing, is challenging your core beliefs. I ran a marathon to prove that I could really, that I could do that. It was a triathlon. I came in last, but the point is I challenged that core belief that I was weak.
It's
And that's
important to
what
do
we
that,
have to
right?
do. It's very important to do that. And it's just as simple as, oh, gee, I'm holding myself back from writing that book. B, oh, okay, you know what? I think inside of me is a loving book, and I'd like that to share that book. I have a loving voice. And then C, where did I learn that I couldn't write a book, or who told me that? Well, my parents never supported me, or, I failed an English class. That's where I got that core belief. And so it's just those simple, it sounds simple, but it's those steps that we just remind ourselves every time we hear ourselves holding ourselves back or making a negative thought.
Yeah, we got to move forward. We're our worst critics, and everything you say. When I was a kid, my brother told me I was fat, and I look back at pictures and I wasn't, and it makes me so mad that I believed it. And I wound up growing up being really fat, having to lose all that weight. Thank you so much, Jackie, and for being on the show, and we're happy that you're safe down in Mexico as well. You at home, if you want to find out more information and get a copy of Jackie's book, The Silent Bully, just visit JackieElliottABC.com, and we'll have this link on our website.
Wondering how aesthetic treatments can help you look your best? Dermatologist Dr. Mona Gohara, in partnership with Allergen Aesthetics, is here with more. Doctor, great to have you. There's a lot of conversation online about unnatural filler results. What's your reaction to this, and what causes issues like filler migration?
So I think the most important thing to remember is exactly what you just said, Andrea. Online, you have to consider the source. I can tell you, as a board-certified dermatologist for the past 20 years, that hyaluronic acid filler treatments are safe. They create a natural result, a customizable result. And if it's done by a board-certified dermatologist or a board-certified plastic surgeon, you will be happy as a clam. So the key is to consider the source. Don't look at those overpuffed lips or those overpuffed cheeks. Just go to a provider who knows what they're doing. In terms of filler migration, sure, that can happen. It is not common at all. It isn't something that we see in our offices on a regular or daily basis. So again, I encourage you to follow the science, not the hype.
I think that's great advice, and this follows into the next question, really. What should patients expect during and after treatment, and how can they ensure they get the results they want?
That's a great question. So first, pick your provider, right? So you want to make sure that you're going to a board-certified plastic surgeon or dermatologist to get the treatment. Second, have a plan. Make sure that they know what you expect and you know what they expect. Have a plan. You want to tell your doctor that you want a natural result, right? So you get a natural result. Third, you want to pick the right product. I personally like hyaluronic acid fillers because they are great at replacing age-related volume loss. And then you want to have patience. So just remember that nothing happens overnight, but the results you get will be amazing.
That is so true, especially when it comes to beauty and this kind of thing. Shortcuts are not a good idea. questions and
No.
patience, as you mentioned, are a very good idea. Where can our viewers go to learn more or find a qualified provider?
Great question. Patients can go to naturallyyouwithha.com.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll post this interview on our website at dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
All right, thank you there, Andrea. Very interesting stuff there. Some trending news stories. Weight loss medications actually have moved beyond the medicine cabinet. Now they're actually in the hiring conversation. Recent surveys show that growing share of workers are either using or planning on using weight loss medications as part of their health goals. Independent reports show that employers from the tech industry to even healthcare are adapting medical benefits to reflect these new priorities. Vendors are now making GLP-1 coverage easier for employees to manage. So they're really, if you look at this, as more like a benefit that you're receiving, because so many people are going on these weight loss products, and they know, hey, if you sign on with us, your insurance is going to cover these weight loss, and that's interesting.
Isn't it fascinating that something that was intended for diabetes has turned into this, at least a U.S. phenomena, and if not a global phenomena for people who are looking to lose weight. And I still question, the legitimacy of this drug for some people who are using it for instant gratification.
And it seems there's that look, that gaunt look that they have as well, right?
Have you seen Kelly Osbourne?
That's funny you said that. That's who I was thinking about when I said that.
My goodness.
Unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable.
But, and they'll say it, and I've lost a lot of weight. Everybody knows that. And I was just talking about this on the radio about, so he goes, I don't even remember you like that.
Yeah.
But because I look so different. He says, I didn't even know that was you. We were talking about pictures or whatever. And it goes, we see it, the people that have to lose the weight, and we see the struggles. And so it's hard for a lot of people that maybe are healthy and they do the right things, like exercise and do that. But once you get to a point, it's really hard to lose that weight. I can see how it would help keep and retain employees.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're like, I don't want to quit because I have great benefits.
Right.
Including this. So.
And that's a huge draw, I think, for people. Well, a new singles scene is unfolding in medieval times, believe it or not.
Really?
It's Dinner with the Jousting Tournament. Now these helmet-clad knights have become the hottest new alternative to Hinge, believe it or not. Between sword fights and royal decrees, flirty knights are locking eyes with female customers. They even toss roses into the crowd and crown one lucky spectator the queen of the tournament. Dating experts say it's giving modern romance a medieval makeover. With 10 castle locations across the U.S. and Canada, fans are hopping aboard the Chivalry Express, proving this isn't a one castle crush.
And if the date doesn't work out, you can say, well, I met a nice wench there. Right? And it's okay. You can say that because...
Not my knight in shining armor.
Lots of puns you can be able to use there. We want you to come back and have some more fun with us. We got more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends still to come right here on Daily Flash.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference. This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with James Alexander for our stations across the nation.
Yay!
You know what, that station, we're going back to Cali.
Ooh.
To Cali.
All right, before we get there, 219 stations across this great country of ours. The American Forces Network is where you can find us too, globally, and all our social media channels and streaming platforms and all that great stuff. Go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and click on where to watch. Now, our local friend today comes from Santa Barbara, California.
So beautiful.
That's like I said early, going back to Cali.
KCCF.
KCCF TV. All right. Now I had to learn a little bit about Santa Barbara, California, more than I knew before. It has the only California mission with 2 towers.
2 towers?
Yep, I didn't know you had 1 tower, so I was learning. What does it mean? What does it mean? Don't go to the tower like you go to the light. Don't go to the. All right, my bad. The city deliberately preserves its Spanish look.
Yes.
All right, which I love that. I like that.
Very
That's
pretty.
kinda- and it's named after a legendary maritime disaster. So I didn't know that either.
Santa Barbara was a disaster?
Maritime, I guess a
Maritime
ship must have gone down and they landed there and they go, hey, Barbara, look what you did to us.
Santa Barbara. Remember the soap opera Santa Barbara?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, Sean Penn's ex-wife.
Robin
Right. She was on that,
wow.
I think. She was on Santa Barbara. Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yes.
All right, thank you there, James. Okay, you love music. You love, music that comes out these days. It is sent out basically differently than days past, where
Yeah.
it used to be like an album. You went to the store and get it and everything. However, a Harvard medical team has done a study and has found out that days where blockbuster albums that come out from people like Taylor Swift, Drake, Bad Bunny when they debut,
Okay.
that traffic deaths rise about 15%.
Really?
Compared to surrounding days. They found that car crashes actually spike on days when those major albums drop. And they're attributing it to because drivers are getting distracted and excited about it.
Wow.
Now, generally you sound like this, like how can one do
Right.
another? It sounds like something your
You
parents would
listen
tell
to
you.
music all the time in the car.
Yeah, but do you jam out to it? Do you get
Yeah,
going?
I mean, yeah, but that's
So they found that it was a little bit different. Basically, they tracked the data around the major albums. We're talking big albums, like Taylor Swift was probably
Yeah.
the biggest one you can probably think of. And the driving distracted goes up even higher. And I could totally buy into that one. There's certain songs
Absolutely.
that are on. I don't even realize I'm
You're driving.
speeding like
Yeah.
crazy, man, because I'm playing the air guitar and
yeah.
drum and all that sort of thing. Some say this might be a stretch, but they're saying it does go along. It does correlate all together. And if it's Harvard, well,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I
they-
just don't see. I mean, I get it.
Really?
I get jamming out to some of your
Yeah.
favorite tunes and so on and so forth. But you're jamming out that hard to get yourself in an
Have
accident?
you
That's
ever pulled
crazy.
up to a stoplight and seen somebody losing their mind in the car because they've got a tune on and they are like having their own show within their
They
four
usually
doors?
have a nagging woman next to them.
you're trying to drown them out.
But that makes I know that sometimes I'll have a good song on and I'll start hitting the gas pedal a little bit more than
Yeah.
I thought I might, but it's
Okay.
the song because I'm feeling good and I'm like I'm jamming out.
And to me, it's the songs I'm already familiar with, which makes it kind of interesting that these are new songs.
yeah.
Because you don't
Okay.
really, if it's a new song to you, do you know all the words? Maybe
Right.
you do. Maybe you had heard it before the album actually had came out. But I can guarantee you, music does change the way at
Yes.
least I drive.
Yeah.
And I can wholeheartedly see how there could be some kind of 15% is pretty significant.
That's a
amount.
huge number.
That is a lot
Yeah.
of money being spent on accidents.
And I do say, saying that, my hand in heaven, as we were coming in today, I was listening to Christopher Cross because you're going to be singing Sailing.
Really.
And for some reason, I still was jamming it out.
And
That's
I
huge.
cannot get that
DMX.
song out of my head.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm a DMX guy.
Here's a couple things. We want to know what song gets you driving fast.
Yes.
And do you buy into this research? We'd love to hear from you.
Stay with us. Daily Flash returns right after this.
It's not news. It's not nonsense. It's that weird place in between. Opinion-ish. Coming soon. You're watching Daily Flash. Time now for The Scene with Doreen.
Today on The Scene with Doreen, I sit down with Alabama native, Waffle House enthusiast, and rapid-fire stand-up comedian Derek Stroop. He has a brand new Netflix debut comedy special, and he's heading out on a massive tour later this summer. I can't wait to dig in. Check it out.
I'm a 90s kid, born in the 80s. Some people don't understand that. They think if they were born in 93, they're a 90s kid. You're a dumbass.
I feel like we have this deep bond already because we are both 90s kids. You gotta say, we are different. We're like the last cool kids, I think.
The last cool kids would be right. We were the last ones to not be, raised on the internet. The last ones to, go out and play with our friends without our cell phone. A line I love that I used in the special, last ones to know where our friends were by the bikes in the yard. That was like how you could tell, you know, I mean, you'd really have your heart broken. You'd be riding around and you'd realize that everybody was swimming at Jason's, and you had no idea, you know?
Those times were better, weren't they? You know, we
Yeah.
had drama. We really did. But our drama, looking back now, was like a pleasure.
You look back on it and you can't believe, I mean, it's blurrier than a Bigfoot photo. Kids today are clearly smarter than we were. They can they know how to fix our Wi-Fi. They're pretty nerdy. I mean, we were eating worms when we were their age, but we were a pretty tough group.
One of our favorites here at The Tonight Show. Please welcome the very funny Derek Stroop.
So before opening for comedians like Nate Bargatze and being on The Tonight Show, you really paid your dues. I know you played a very tough gig in a reptile shop.
Yeah. Probably the toughest show I've ever done was in a reptile shop.
How does
in
that
Denver.
happen? How do you get
Well,
booked?
you just take whatever gigs, and people, they'll put comedy shows anywhere. I mean anywhere. I mean, every brewery in Denver has a comedy show, and they'll just ambush you. You think you're there for brunch, and then we pop up with a microphone and we go, "Hey, you're not going to just eat eggs Benedict. You're going to listen to people struggle through a joke." And so I ended up at a reptile store, and I've never wished so much in my life that I could just blend in with the microphone and disappear like one of those lizards. It was
Chameleon,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, and plus the audience, I don't know. I mean, if you have reptiles, then God bless you. I love you, but don't act like you're normal completely. I mean, they were hard to make laugh. I didn't have any lizard jokes. It was tough.
I think the main problem with these kids these days, they've never rode in the back of a car on an 8-hour family trip with no electronics. Just looking out the window going, if we play I Spy again, I'm gonna kill myself.
Congratulations on your well-deserved success on the debut stand-up special, Nostalgic. I mean, you came right out of the gate, top 10. That's gotta feel
Thank you.
pretty good. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise, and it did feel really good. Thank you. It's been great. The love and support has been awesome. Now, I'm proud of it. I think that you can sit down with your family and watch it, and there's no shock comedy. There's no vulgarity. It's a good one.
You know, listen, I just talk about things that are on my heart, you know?
You just announced your first ever theater tour, the Running Hot Tour.
Theaters are the best place to watch a comedy show. Theaters are the best place for live performance. It's just, this building's 200 years old. It feels a certain way. You've got a nice polo on, your date's dressed up. We're going to have a good night.
Visit DerekStroop.com. Get tickets for his Running Hot Tour on sale now. Check out his brand new stand-up debut special, Nostalgic, exclusively streaming on Netflix. And just stay connected to everything that is the wonderfully talented and very funny Derek Stroop. Derek's down-home Southern charm and personality are infectious. And if you want to hear more of our hilarious conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with the Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
A European spring tradition is shaping how Americans host. Julian Areola, Saint Germain ambassador, joins us with Spritz season trends. Julian, tell me, what is Spritz season and why is it trending?
Of course. So the magic is that the Spritz is a year-round cocktail, but a recent report from the Bacardi Cocktail Trends shows that the Spritz cocktail is outpacing the Martini and the Gin and Tonic to be the #1 cocktail of the year. And with that, Saint Germain is leading the trends because of our dedication to our wild, hand-picked elderflowers.
You got to show us how easy it is to make a Spritz at home.
Oh, I'd love to. So we're going to start off with our beautiful Saint Germain Spritz glass that already has ice. We'll then add 2 ounces of sparkling water. And then we'll add 2 ounces of Prosecco. What's amazing here is that you can substitute that for a sparkling rosé or a sparkling red wine. That'll bring out a lot of other beautiful notes that are found in Saint Germain. We'll then add 1.5 ounces of our elderflower liqueur. This is where we get all of the notes of lychee and passion fruit, honeysuckle, stone fruit like peaches and pears. And then we'll give it a good stir. That'll allow the golden hue from Saint Germain to really fill out the glass. And then we'll garnish with lime and a mint wedge. And it's just that easy. Voila.
And where can we learn more?
Of course. So at the bottom of your screen, there should be a QR code. There's also one at the end of the table. Both will take you to stgermainsliqueur.com, where there is a store locator that will take you to restaurants that have a Saint Germain Spritz, as well as venues that sell our elderflower liqueur. Additionally, you're able to purchase a Saint Germain Spritz kit, which is super fun.
Fantastic. Tell you what, we're going to post this info on our website, dailyflashshow.com/FMI.
Mitch, thank you. Well, Neo explains the hard work behind his relationship with not one, not two, but three women. The 46-year-old singer appeared on The Sherry Show and revealed that he chose to pursue a different situationship after an ugly divorce. The R&B artist recalled approaching his girlfriend last spring about his desire to date other women and make them all part of one relationship. The singer-songwriter prefers his trio of girlfriends not date other men.
So
but it's okay for him
to do it.
to have three women, but the women can't date other men. Okay.
To me, why would you want that many headaches? And, and then remembering things. Just the other day, the common joke, maybe you've done this, was like, hey, didn't we see this movie, yada, yada? Like, that was with another girlfriend or whatever. You know you're running into that when you're dating three women at the same time. But apparently, and I'm of the belief, look, if that's what works for you, I can't see how it is. And it'd be confusing to kids, I would imagine, as well, if you had children with any of them.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the case or not.
If it works for the women, James.
I knew you were going to say something. I was like, I wish James was in.
James?
I got to agree with Mitch. It is a headache.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
No doubt about that.
It's a lot of fun.
No doubt about that.
I can see that. But how do you keep the names straight?
That's what I would. Yeah. The hardest part would be keeping names together.
And birthdays and dates straight.
Girl number one, girl number two, girl number three.
Door number one. You said door, right? I want to make sure you said door.
Oh, girl number one.
You're trying to give me a trouble with HR.
And you just call all of them hun or babe or dear.
It's easier.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you
Neo,
go.
if that's your thing, all right, that's your thing. And
I suppose so.
if it brings everybody happiness, then God bless.
I guess so. All right. Well, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes are reportedly sending wedding invites to their exes, believe it or not. 3 years after their scandalous romance led to their firing from GMA3, the duo are including their exes on the guest list. The future bride and groom don't expect them to show, but wanted to extend an invite anyway. Their relationship was exposed back in November of 2022 following their suspension from ABC. Insiders say the relationship was in violation of the morality clause in their network contracts. The two were married to other spouses at the time of their firing and affair. They have since divorced, clearing the slate for the duo to marry. To this day, Robach and Holmes insist they were not cheating while they were married. And did I hear a rumor that their ex-spouses are dating?
That's what I had heard. Yes, I think Hugo was mentioning that to us. Yeah, that they were dating, which is like a total sitcom if you think about that. And the GMA3, that's a Subaru, right? That's one of the GMA3.
That was a mid-morning show no one watched on ABC.
Okay. All right, yeah. Not sure about that. We are talking about affairs. Some salacious stuff about Bill Gates.
Yes, it just dropped on the New York Post that Bill Gates admits to having an affair, not one, but two affairs, at least two affairs with Russian women in connection with Jeffrey Epstein.
And let me tell you, taking this, everybody wants to know what's on the files and everything. I think maybe he's doing damage control now, which,
probably.
Hey, admit to it, don't lie about it. And that's the only thing I can say that's about good out of this is that he's taking responsibility.
The problem with too much money and too much power is that you have access to everything, and sometimes I think that clouds your judgment and you make some poor choices. And obviously he was married and had kids, I believe, at the time that he had these affairs, at least married. So I think those were some poor choices on his point.
And when you are a billionaire and your spouse and you get a divorce gets half, and you have half of the hundreds of billions, that's still a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's all about pride after that point, I guess.
Well, it's a guilty pleasure many can't get enough of, and a new franchise is set to premiere. Bravo has released the full trailer for The Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
Oh, I can't wait.
The tagline for the show reads, "In a place where everyone knows everyone and family names carry serious weight, nothing is ever truly forgotten." Friendships built over decades, loyalties deeply rooted, and secrets guarded at all costs until betrayal strikes and the cracks begin to show. Real Housewives of Rhode Island is set to premiere on April 2nd.
Please forgive me, Rhode Islanders. The only thing I really kind of knew as far as the media goes in Rhode Island is that Family Guy, Quahog is based out of Rhode Island, which I think is very comparable because a lot of times these housewives are cartoonish altogether, right?
Yeah, they can be.
I think this is going to be, it's just more a cast of the same thing, I would imagine,
Yeah.
right?
If you ever go to Rhode Island, do the mansion tour. All these beautiful mansions from the turn of the century that were built by the Rockefellers and those Astor families, and you can take a tour. They're all part of the National Park Registry, and it's pretty amazing.
I love that. Hey, we talked about it. The highest paid actor altogether, Zoe Saldana. Saldana, thank you for saying
Yes.
that. Congratulations to her here. Of course, we know her, of course, from the Avatar, Fire and Ash, and all the other great movies as well. So, congratulations to a female taking the highest grossing actor of all time.
And of course, she's got great endorsement deals, and this movie put her right over the top.
100%.
Yep.
Love her. We got more Flash coming up. Stick around.
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye. KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. We always want to leave you on a high note,
Absolutely.
so that's why we want to tell you something good.
This is going to make you feel really good. We go to Belton, Texas, and what started as a simple visit between high school volleyball players and a local senior living community actually turned into an unlikely and actually heartwarming friendship, all thanks to a game called chair volleyball.
Chair volleyball. Okay, the residents at Woodland Cottages call themselves the Hit Squad, and they face off with the Lake Belton High School team in friendly matches that are less about winning and more about laughing, connecting, and just moving together. The rules are simple. Everyone stays seated, the ball goes over the net, and the competition gets fierce. But the real magic happens after the serve, when stories are shared and generations learn from each other.
Really cool. The friendship has actually gone beyond the court. Seniors even surprised the students by showing up to cheer for them at a school game. So they kind of did the other way around. That's really cool, proving that it just isn't an activity, it's a bond. Staff say that the partnership has boosted spirits, created some purpose, actually brought a new kind of energy to both the students and the residents.
After all, it's a little reminder that connection does not have an age limit. It is indeed ageless, and sometimes all it takes is a ball, a net, and a little heart, and that is something good.
I agree with that. And, sitting there thinking, this could be a new sport. If they have a sport where two people are going to run into each other, chair volleyball, actually, I think we could even play it here in the show. Yes. It'd be actually kind of fun. Even I could start seeing, how they have the retreats for companies, maybe like that could be an exercise of bonding.
The competition,
Right?
I think so too. And it's so important too, especially for our senior community, that they have something to look forward to every day and something to keep them active and engaged. And this keeps them active, it keeps them engaged, and it also keeps them connected to a generation.
Really cool. Now, if you want more information about everything we talked about here on the show, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Bye-bye, y'all.
Everybody.